Hey everyone, I finished watching the last episode of Power Rangers Wild Force, the end of the Power Rangers Part 2. So, summary first, Master Org is rampaging through the city, the Animarium's frickin' fallen down, the Rangers are powerless, the Zords are gone, but despite all this, the Rangers remember to never give up, because that's the thing they say nearly every episode. I never really noticed it until this rewatch, but man, they say never give up a lot. Anyway, they're fighting with the putrids. Cole saves this one kid, uh, Nate, I guess. Then all the Rangers face Master Org on top of a building, and they each stand up to him, and there's this really cool roll call scene, and then suddenly these lights break through the clouds in the sky, and these beams of colored light destroy all the putrids, and Master Org's like, what is this? And then the Rangers are like, it's the Wild Zords, and there's a bunch of past Wild Zords coming back to life that we've never seen before, but surely they can make toys of them. So then the Zords restore the Rangers' power, and they use it to destroy Master Org, but the Org heart is still there, so they combine their weapons, destroy that, and he's gone for good. Seemed kind of easy. Makes me wonder if maybe there had been a plan for a team-up or something in the future that didn't go through. Okay, anyway. The Rangers are celebrating the new piece on the Animarium, and Shayla tells them, your mission is over, and I'm going to be taking the Animarium back up into the sky. And Merrick's like, Princess, I'm going with you because I made a vow to protect you. And she's like, no, Merrick, the Earth is your home. Stay here. Okay. Alright. Whatever. So then, let's see, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, hand over your jackets and morphers. I get the morphers, why the jackets? I've always thought this was so weird. Like, I don't think I saw this last episode when I was a kid, because none of it's ringing any bells for me. Maybe I did see it and it's just completely gone from my memory. But when I did see this, like, as a teenager, I was like, hand over your jackets? Like, I understand the morphers. Like, yeah, the goal of their mission is over with. The orgs are defeated, Master Org is gone, there's no real need for the Wild Force Rangers at this point. They can go do whatever as humans. But why the jackets? And why now? It's so weird. Like, the jackets have been a weird thing from the very start. At the very start, it's always been weird that they can just wear the jackets that have their ranger designation on it. Like, it's their color, and also, like, their name. Noble Tiger, and Blazing Lion, and Howling Wolf, and all that. I don't know, it's just weird that, like, they were allowed to have these all the time they were actually rangers, but now they're not rangers anymore. They can't have the jackets that say the names of the rangers. Okay, sure, whatever. Mm. Very strange. Anyway, they hand them over to her, and the Rangers watch as Shayla disappears, and the Animarium rises back up into the sky. And then suddenly Alyssa comes in and starts narrating what's going on. Thanks, Alyssa. It's really strange, it's really jarring. I don't like when the narration just pops in out of nowhere, especially here, when all she's saying is what we're seeing right now, and it doesn't really need any extra explanation. But the weirder thing is that she starts narrating and then stops, and then it doesn't come back for a while. So that's also kind of weird that, okay, you tossed in the narration, cool, and then you stop? What? And then it comes back, and then it's gone, then it comes... Weird. Okay, whatever. Anyway, after that goes on, let's see, Cole visits his parents' graves, and, let's see. Oh, interesting thing, I don't see his headstone there anymore. Back earlier, when he found out the truth about his parents, he goes to the cemetery, he sees the graves with his parents' names, he sees there's a headstone for him, because they think he's dead. But it's not there anymore. And there was one interesting thing I found on Ranger Wiki after that possibly, like, there's been a time gap. This is quite a while after the defeat of Master Org and all that. So maybe he's, like, registered as a citizen now. So, uh, they know that, oh, okay, you're not dead. Let's get rid of that. I don't know. Something interesting to speculate on. Anyway, he looks over, he sees this lone headstone, he picks up a couple flowers, he goes over, puts them on that, and says, "Perhaps you will finally know peace as well." And the camera pans up and shows Dr. Victor Adler on the headstone, which is really cool. Also kind of interesting because isn't this the headstone that Jindrax and Toxica stole way back in, was it Sing Song? Which episode was it where they, I don't remember which episode it was, but yeah, didn't they steal his headstone? So did the police, like, consider it vandalism and just put it back up? Is it even in the same spot? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Um, let's see. Alyssa pops back in with a narration and says Cole would go on to use his abilities to help animals. And then he becomes the Red Ranger and Gal Ranger, I guess. And then, Taylor goes back to the Air Force and apparently just gets her job back immediately. Like, there's no implication that there's been a big time gap with her or anything. Then again, there's not one with Cole either. Yeah, it's kind of weird that they would just give her job after having disappeared for months. Kind of. Like, she was still walking around the city like she belonged there. She wasn't, like, trying to, like, stay hidden or anything. It fits with Time Force's or Wild Force's logic at the beginning of the series, especially. It had that like fairy tale childlike tone to it, so you wouldn't really question something like that. But yeah, it's kind of weird now that that comes up. Whatever. Moving on. Uh, Taylor gets in her plane. She's flying up, and as she's flying, she's joined by her Eagle Zord, and that's a really cool moment. I love that. And then Alyssa comes in again to tell us that Danny and Max went on a world tour together, and we see a series of images of Danny and Max around the world taking pictures, and Danny grew a mustache on their trip to Russia, apparently. Okay. Like it's a fake mustache, but I'm not sure if it's like supposed to be fake or if it's actually intended to be real. Moving on. Let's see. Merrick wandered, searching for adventure, says Alyssa. I wonder if Merrick ever bumped into Tyzon from Once a Ranger. When Tyzon is like, or all the Rangers and Once a Ranger are like, we're gonna go back to our regular lives. And then Tyzon the alien is like, oh wait, I don't have a regular life. Well, guess I'll wander around this field. And then maybe he bumps into Merrick and, Zanaku. Yeah, Zanaku's back. No explanation given there. It's really weird. Let's see. So we see Merrick walking off into the woods, and then we hear like, "Where are you going?" And then the camera pans around, and we see it's Zanaku back to life because Zanaku's mellowed out quite a bit and now considers Merrick an old friend, and so does Merrick for some reason. Hmm. So anyway, then we see the frame for this whole Alyssa narrating thing. Alyssa's a teacher now, telling this story to a bunch of kindergartners, which is another nice little like parallel back to way at the beginning when I think it's Taylor hears a mother reading a story to a kid, and the story is about the animarium. So that's a cool little callback to that kind of. Uh, Not really anything more to add. Alyssa's a teacher, that's where it ends, and it was a pretty decent ending for Wild Force. It was a really good cap for it. It had the same tone as those early episodes, which I consider to be probably the best part of Wild Force. Let's see. The past Wild Zords, when they come back to life in this, it's really weird. There's no explanation given. There is a vague implication that it's the determination of the Rangers that like will the old Zords back to life, although I don't know. Was it the Green Morphin Master? I wouldn't be surprised if they retconned that in at some point in the future. Let's see. Oh, and also, kind of ironic, Master Org's defeat isn't from the Wild Zords. It's from the Rangers. They never use their Zords against him, even when the Zords come back to life. Let's see. Get my notes here. Oh yeah, Zanaku coming back was really weird, especially since earlier on in the series, Zanaku has rarely been portrayed as anything but a villain. Like when he first shows up, there does appear to be depth to him, but then it turns out that his like good actions are an influence from Merrick, who's a part of him, similar to Magna Defender and Mike back in Lost Galaxy, where the Magna Defender wouldn't care about if civilians got in the way, but Mike did, and that would influence the Magna Defender and make him hold back and like not fight. With Zanaku, as soon as Merrick was separated from Zanaku, Zanaku was just a villain. In his return, he was just like a one-off monster. He didn't really have any depth to him at all. He was just Venom, basically. You separated from me, and now I'm mad. That's like a super watered-down version of that story, but it was a very simple story. So, yeah. Him coming back to life, I've never really understood it. This time, like, I'm guessing maybe part of the idea was all the old Wild Zords come back to life, and the logic is that Zanaku has some kind of connection to the Wild Zords. Best I can think of. Behind the scenes reason is probably because Zanaku was a popular character. They wanted to keep him around. Because I'm pretty sure, like, even though Power Rangers looked like it was going to end, I think they were hoping that they might get another season, and if that happened, they already had plans set up for, like, team-ups and stuff in the future, and they were thinking, oh, well, we want to keep Zanaku around, like, potentially we can bring him back. Never happened. Nothing from Wild Force ever returned in, like, a substantial way. So, let's see, moving on. Oh yeah, if Zanaku came back to life, if he was connected to the Wild Zords, what about Animus? Did Animus come back to life? Because he freaking died last episode. Is he back to life? I don't know. They never, like, even mention him. I think it would have been kind of nice to at least show Kite. Like, maybe just give him a really quick non-speaking role or something. Just have him show up. It'd be a nice little, like, cap to him. Let's see, So yeah, on this rewatch, I really enjoyed Wild Force way more than I thought I would. It's always been like a weird season for me. Like it's one that I did watch as a kid here and there, but I was never super into it. Actually, after Time Force, I never got really super big into Power Rangers until like I think Samurai, like long after the Disney seasons ended. Because the Disney seasons just didn't get very good promotion. Like I had seen, like let's see, what was it? Ninja Storm through SPD were still like on a channel that we got, but then with Mystic Force was on Jetix, I think. We didn't have Jetix, so I missed those next couple of seasons. And ABC Kids, I think, was a channel that we didn't get, or there was like a different, or I don't remember, but yeah. I saw Mystic Force like on YouTube, I think as it aired. That was a weird time. I remember seeing bits of Jungle Fury and RPM. RPM was weird because like I would hear the theme song and I would just be like, I don't want to watch it. Because I just watched Jungle Fury and I was like, I don't want to watch RPM. I didn't know it was actually good. Like the theme song's really bad, but the show was really, really good. Anyway, back to Wild Force. Yeah, as a kid, I never really got super into Wild Force. I didn't see all of it. I wasn't super into it at that point. And even as an adult, growing up and watching the other seasons, like when I was a teenager and I was trying to scrounge up any Power Ranger stuff I could find, I had a ton of VHS tapes, bootleg DVDs, and imported DVDs and all that. I was like looking up online clips of old episodes and trying to piece together like the missing stuff that I had. Like, all that stuff was so fascinating. All the original Saban era stuff I found so fascinating. Mighty Morphin through Time Force, and then Wild Force just kind of feels like this weird separate thing. And aside from the team ups, I was never really super into it. I really liked Forever Red because it brings back all those characters from all the seasons that I love so much. And Reinforcements from the Future is a perfect epilogue for my favorite season, Time Force. So, Wild Force has always just been this weird one that I don't think about often, but rewatching it this time, I really enjoyed it, and I really liked the characters. Those early episodes that were very heavily character focused, I really liked them. I really enjoyed them a lot more than I remembered liking them even as a kid. Um, let's see. Let's see. Looking through my notes here. The main villains, Master Org, Dendrax, Toxica, they're really interesting characters. Most of the other villains aren't very interesting at all. A lot of the villains are pretty dead boring. Some of the individual orgs have some fun personality quirks, and I like their voices. Oh, and that's something. Wild Force is the last season to be shot in Los Angeles. After this, New Zealand. Only New Zealand. Like, yeah. One of the things that really disappoints me about Power Rangers moving from Los Angeles to New Zealand is the voice acting got way, way, way worse. There are some Disney seasons and Neo Saban seasons where the monsters have okay voices, they have fun personalities or fun voices, but for the most part, that's gone. The monsters become extremely generic after Wild Force, and that's unfortunate because it's one of the main focuses of the show. It's one of the things I really like about the show is the Monsters of the Day characters. In Wild Force, though, I feel like it was kind of heading in that direction, though, with the monsters getting like a smaller and smaller part. Most of the episodes focused on like the main villains, the Rangers, and some bigger story arc instead of the like more episodic episodes like back in Mighty Morphin would have. Um, Oh yeah, Zanaku, he started out with like some depth like I was talking about, but then after Merrick separates from him, he becomes kind of boring. Like he's just a villain. I actually kind of prefer how he is at the end of the season where he's like a friend to Merrick. It's why I don't really have that big of a problem with him coming back to life and palling around with Merrick because as a one-off monster, he's just not that interesting. As like an ally character, he is kind of interesting, even if it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Let's see. I went to Ranger Wiki to look up some trivia for this episode to see if there was anything interesting I wanted to talk about. There was a little bit here and there, but not really anything too interesting. But the really weird thing I want to talk about is the trivia section is completely messed up. There's grammar errors, spelling errors. There's one entry that's not even a full sentence. I don't know what in the world it was trying to say. But yeah, like Ranger Wiki has a lot of really sloppy spots on it. I'm guessing nobody wants to go in and edit everything, all over 1,000 episodes of Power Rangers, hundreds of characters, Zords, equipment, monsters, all that stuff. Yeah, it would take like years to go through and fix everything on there. But yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because this was especially sloppy, even for Ranger Wiki. So, let's see. Yeah, that's it for this one. So, next up, Saban era's over with. So we're starting the Disney era with Ninja Storm. That'll be a really fun rewatch. I haven't watched Ninja Storm in a couple of years now. Like, the last episode that I like went out of my way to watch, I think was Shane's Karma, because I like that one. So, yeah, Disney era next, and I'm not ready to say goodbye to the Saban era just yet. Like, there's no other Saban Power Rangers seasons, but there are other Saban Tokusatsu shows. So, alongside Ninja Storm, I'm also going to be rewatching VR Troopers, Masked Rider, Beetleborgs. I don't know if I want to do Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation yet. Like, I might. I don't know. It doesn't really. Like, it kind of fits, because, I mean, they showed up in Power Rangers in Space, but on the other hand, I don't know. Then, let's see, Mystic Knights, and then Los Luchadores. If I can find the DVDs of Los Luchadores, I'll definitely do it. If not, I'll see what I feel like once I get there. Won't be for quite a while. VR Troopers has like 70, 80 some episodes. Masked Rider is 40. Beetleborgs is like 80 some episodes. Ninja Turtles Next Mutation is like, yeah, 26 episodes. Mystic Knights is 50. Los Luchadores, I think, has 12 or 13 episodes. I'm not sure which. So yeah, looking forward to that, and hope you enjoyed this. See ya.